Hey everyone. This is Adam McCaden coming to you on this webinar this morning. I am trying to share my screen here. Um, there we go. Just having a little bit of trouble sharing my screen. Let me get this up for you and get everything set up here and good to go. All right, and you know what? I might just turn on the webcam today. Let's see how that works. Let's might get it here so you guys can see my beautiful face. Oh, there I am. Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Actually, I guess it's 1 o'clock Eastern time, so good afternoon. Good lunchtime wherever you are. My name is Adam McCaden, and we're going to go over today the new Nadex platform. It's been out for a little while now. We're doing a couple more of these webinars, our last couple actually, as we're getting away from the old platform. So I wanted to run through everything with this new platform, show you things that have changed, show you things that we have launched since we did the last ones, and really just give you a good overview of what we're doing with the platform here. Before I jump really too deep into it, I believe everyone should be able to see my screen here. So first, I'll give this disclaimer. Basically, it just says trading on Nadex and really trading anywhere is going to involve risk. So don't trade with money you don't have. Don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. There's risk in trading. You should know this. Also, past performance is not indicative of future results. And I will be going over and placing some trades on a demo account today just to show you functionally how the platform works. Anything that I actually trade on today, though, is not a representation of something I think you should do. It's not I'm telling you to go trade a specific instrument, a specific strike. It's just for functionally showing you what's going on. So I'll give you a couple more seconds to finish reading this disclaimer here. And while I let you finish that, I was just talking with our head of education right before this started, Todd Rich. So he did a trading boot camp yesterday. So there's a series of 3 webinars, just went up in the archive section on nadex.com yesterday. So it's Todd Rich, who is our head of education here. It's Dan Cook, who heads up our business development here. And then it's Guy Adami, who you may recognize from CNBC and other places. They did a series of 3 webinars yesterday, all very informative. So definitely go check those out if you would like to consume some more Nadex content. All right, I think probably we've had enough time here for everyone to read this disclaimer, so I will move on to the next slide. And I believe Todd has just put up the link in the chat. So if you want to go to that archived webinars and see any of those, don't run away from this webinar yet, but after this one's over, definitely go check those out. So this is a little bit about me page. It's I guess you guys can see my more professional picture before I had the Corona beard going on. I've been working at Nadex for about 3 years here now, a little bit over 3 years. I've been focusing on the products in our platforms for the last 2 years. So this new platform has been heavily my baby. Been sort of the driving all the new features and everything that we wanted to do to kind of improve the old platform and get over to the new platform here. So I definitely I'm proud of this and want to show it off to all of you, and hopefully it's something that all of you can enjoy and can use a little bit better than that old platform. I've been just in kind of trading background. I started trading about 10 years ago, right when I turned 18, or actually it's about 12 years ago now. And so was started off trading mostly in equities, started off trading stocks, and then moved on to options, and then I started working on Nadex. So it's all good fun. All right, I'll get off this picture of me here. So here we go. We have the agenda. So I'm going to do most of this webinar in the actual platform itself. So I'm going to go over the layout, how you actually place orders on the new platform. Just very basic stuff, managing your positions, some settings, and then lastly, I'm going to go over the charts. I'm going to spend a good amount of time on the charts because it's fairly different from the old platform. So I'm going to do that at the end though, because I do know that a lot of people don't actually use our charts. I think they are a lot better than the old ones, but if you don't use our charts, you don't have to stick around for the ending spot there. I'm also going to go over a lot of the stuff that we've implemented recently since the last time we did these webinars, because we have actually updated the platform a good bit in the last few months, made sure it's kind of in working order and all good to go. And that's especially important because I'll drop this here. The old Nadex platform, we are shutting that off on January the 8th. of next year. So we have a few weeks left, so that's why we're really pushing these webinars, making sure, trying to move everyone over, making sure that we have built everything that people need from that old platform and put it in the new one, plus a bunch of extra stuff. Because we will be turning it off here in the next, I believe that's about 3 weeks away. So if you have any questions, any feedback, this is kind of the final chance to learn it before we're getting onto that new platform and shutting that old one down. So without further ado, let's go over into the website here. So you should be able to see my screen, hopefully, that has nadex.com on it, and hopefully you can actually see my screen here. So I'm just going to go to nadex.com, and if you want to log into the new platform, you just click log in. Very simple, very straightforward. I'm going to log into my demo account here. I think the I Like Nadex account is the one that I usually use for webinars. Demo I Like Nadex. Let's jump on in here. You see this nice little loading screen that's gonna pop up. Usually is a little bit faster in loading, but I think because I have a lot of stuff going on and I'm streaming this all directly to you, took a second. So we jump in here. We have our nice get started screen here. So a nice little, you saw the animation come across the side there. So first thing, obviously, wanted to talk about is that actually finding what you want to trade, right? So it's fairly straightforward, but it is a little bit different from the old platform. So I wanted to go over that. So you have your binary options, your call spreads, and your knockouts. This is where you're going to pick your products on the new platform. We're gonna have the same products on the new one as the old one, but it's a little bit different to find them. So if you want binaries, call spreads, or knockouts, you choose them up here at the top, and then let's just say that you wanted to trade an index, and I'm just going to randomly, let's go to the US 500 daily. And so you would click on that, you have your price ladder here, and then you can go select your strike. And there you go. So that's how you actually navigate to what product that you want to trade. You'll notice as soon as I open up my strike here, it both opens the chart for the underlying market here, so the US 500 March March underlying expiration. And then it also opens up the ticket on the right-hand side here as well. So we try to make the user interface just a little bit easier here on the charts and on the ticket. So it's sort of a simple question: will the US 500 finish higher than the 3684 strike that I had picked? If you've obviously these contracts work the same as they do on the old platform, so you think it'll finish higher at that time, you pick yes, or if you think it'll go up, or if you think it'll finish lower than the 3684 point, or generally decrease, the underlying market will generally go down. You want to actually sell that contract. So let's just put one in here quickly. I'll do a market just to make sure that this all goes smoothly. You can also see your max loss, max profit here. You can change your order type and change your size. So very, very straightforward. It should be pretty straightforward there with how you actually navigate and get around the platform. You will see that I'll talk about the chart just a little bit here. I'll save most of it for the end for the most of the functionality, but I just want to hit on, you see we did update the strike lines a little bit on the chart. So now, you have these blue dots when it's a position that you don't have selected, or sorry, blue dotted line. When you select it, it goes black. And then if you actually have a position, you can still see your open positions here, your open positions and your working orders. So if I wanted to put in a working order on this contract, oh yeah, you can also see your market depth here. And let's put in a working order of 30. I apparently have I don't have much money in this this demo account anymore. Let me log out of this demo account then. I didn't realize I had been using this one, I guess. I will log into a different demo account where I know I have a lot of money. All right, there we go. This is my main one. I've been trading on this one for quite a while, so you can see I have a lot more funds on this account. But I have had this demo account for quite a few years now. So again, you can place a market order, get into whatever position, and then like I was showing here, you can also place a limit order, and you should be able to see that on the, oops, well, that's not what I was trying to do. A little bit of technical difficulties here. All right, let's 20. There we go. So you should be able to say your limit order will be in gray on the chart as well. Um, and you can also see on the chart, you have these little boxes just like you have on the old platform there. So you have the, +1 above 1985. So it's telling you that, this is a buy side contract above 1985. You're currently at trading at a loss of $5.25. This is your working order. It's grayed out. It's +1 above 1981. When this goes positive, or if this goes positive, this will turn blue, showing that you actually are um, trading at a profit if you were to exit the position. So now as we move down, we kind of went over where the deal ticket is. And actually real quick, before we go over the managing positions section at the bottom, the open positions in the working orders section, did want to hit on the tear-off tickets, because I know the tear-off tickets, this was something that we didn't have in the new platform at first. It was very heavily requested. So we did put this in. It's a feature that you can find in the old platform as well, but I quite like it. I think there's some cool functionality here. So if we go up to the top right here, you see this little tear off ticket button. So I can click that, and you'll see. Just take a second to load. But you can see it kind of loads up in the top corner there, and you can see also that as I dragged it out here. Oh, why is this not? And having some technical difficulties. I think it's because I'm streaming to all of you guys. Let me. I don't usually have any problems with this. Give me one more try here. Sorry about. It seems to not want to work when I'm doing a webinar. All right, there we go. So you can see it pops up in the ticket for my currently selected market. There's a couple cool things you can do with these tear off tickets though. So first of all, it's not just a ticket that you can tear off. You can also open up the chart by hitting this button down here, or you might have seen it earlier. You can hide the ticket, just have the chart, and you might have seen earlier actually when I let's see, hide chart. If you just kind of go like this, oop, it should also bring up well, that's not actually bringing up the chart at all. So you have the chart here, you can have the ticket, you can have just the chart, you can have just the ticket, you can open multiple of these, so you can pop this off again. It will disappear behind your screen, but you can bring them all back up in front. So what I like to actually do a lot is I'll pull up, while I'm trading on my demo account, I'll pull up a lot of these. And maybe there's a couple of different strikes I want to look at, or maybe I want to look at the chart and a couple tickets on another screen. So I actually have my two screens set up here. I know some of you might have more, but I like dragging them like onto a separate screen, which you can do. Can't really see that I just did that, but what you can also do here is you can tear the price ladder off as well. So if I go price ladder here, I can actually look at the different expirations. So I can say, okay, maybe I'm trading the small cap and I want to look at the daily, but I also want to trade the 2 hour at the same time. Or maybe I want to trade the small cap and I want to trade, the FTSE weekly, right, at the same time. So I can bring both of those up. I can tear the ticket off, and I can actually sit here looking at the price ladder for a lot of different markets at the same time, or I can go over to the actual ticket. So it's really fast, and if you set your screens up, like I will often have 8 of these on a screen if I'm just sitting there kind of trading on my demo account, so I can see all the U.S. indices, and sometimes I like to demo trade the commodities. So I'll maybe have the 4 U.S. indices and the 4 commodities set up kind of underneath it like this. So I'll have just a lot of these tear off tickets. I can see all the markets. I can quickly hit here if I see something I want to get into. I can go back to the price ladder. I can open the chart quickly. So I really think there's a lot of functionality that can be done with these tear offs that's quite cool, but it does take a little bit of time, I think, to learn fully how to use them in the best way. But again, I really like this new kind of tear off ticket functionality that we built here. So hopefully you all like that too. So for right now, I'm going to close out of these tear off tickets, and we're going to move on to the open position panel. So to the kind of managing your positions that lives at the bottom of your screen here. So first, it will be selected. The default is going to be this position slide. And so this is, as you might expect, going to show you the open positions, the positions that you're currently in. So as we can see my small cap contract, the Russell underlying that I got into earlier here. We can see that my position +1, so that's going to be 1 on the buy side. My average price I paid 71.25. my current price, so it's currently trading at 68.25, and so if you subtract that, you're going to get my profit and loss of $3.50. Now, something that I'll briefly go into here, because I know it's something that maybe some of the newer traders don't always understand right away, is that profit and loss, that's not going to be your profit and loss if you actually hold the contract to expiration. It's going to be the profit and loss if you exit the contract right now, so you exit before expiration. So if I actually hold this to expiration, it's either going to be a profit of, quick math off the top of my head, 28.25 if it comes out in my favor, or it's going to be a loss of 71.25 what I paid to get into the contract. But if I want to exit early, I can click on my contract right here. And actually, let's go to another market just so you can see a little bit clearer. So I'm on the Germany 30 right now, but if I actually click anywhere on this line, it's going to bring up my small cap contract again. It's going to bring up one position because it knows I have one. It's going to bring it up on the sell side. So it's already filling out a contract. It's already filling out a ticket that will allow me to exit this contract right away, right? Because if you get in on the buy side on one of our contracts, you want to sell to get out. If you get in on the sell side, you buy to exit your position. So I can place this order right now. If I am filled, right at this point, I'll have a profit or loss of 325, 350. We actually are doing a little bit of work right now to kind of overhaul our closing tickets to make it just a little bit more clear. But until we get that work, all designed and pushed out to you guys, just remember that clicking on this is going to open up your ticket and should just allow you to close out of your position at or close to this profit and loss. You're not always guaranteed, there's no guaranteed fills or anything, but you can get, close out at this profit and loss point. So I can place this order, and there we go. I got out, and I took a little bit of a loss on that contract. If we go over to the orders tab here, we'll see the working orders that I placed earlier. And so I can click on that as well. I can bring up this other ticket, which allows me to either delete my order or I can amend my order. So if I put in a 25 price point, but if I want to put in a 20 price point, if I want to put in a $22 price point, I can now amend that, or I can go ahead and delete that order. Very similar fields on this page. The only really different one is going to be the sizes. The size is going to be the same, but then you have your filled field. So it's going to tell you, how many of those have been filled. Your price is the price that you put out there into the market to want to, get that contract at. And then obviously the current is what it's currently trading at. So if I go here and I click delete remainder or delete order, I can delete my order. There we go. My working order is gone. So that's going to be how you actually delete your orders, is clicking on this panel here and getting out of that working order. If I go over to this other panel here, I see my 24-hour order history. So this is just going to be an order history of everything you've done in the last 24 hours. And we can see here all my small cap trading in and trading out, all sent and filled there. So it's all taken up by what I was doing in the small cap, because I did not trade on this account other than in the last 24 hours, other than what we're doing right now. If you want to see more history, you can certainly do that. So that kind of a good segue into the next little section here. So I'll go to the My Account section really quickly, and then I'll go down what we have here on the left-hand panel. So for the My Account section, you're going to see this at the top right of the screen. So you have this open old platform now that, like I said earlier, is going to be going away on the 8th of January next year, so in about 3 weeks. We can click on the account section here, and we can open up the My Account section. So the first thing you're going to see here, and actually let me enter into a position here so you can see this a little bit better. So now if I open up my account section, it's still hard to see because I have a lot of money in this demo account, but you can, if I only had like 500 bucks in this account, you would see this yellow section and this position value section be a lot bigger. So this is just going to give you kind of a graphical representation of where the money in your account is, right? So this whole part here is that almost 130K that's available to trade, and this tiny yellow and the tiny little blue part is going to be the current position value of the current contracts I have. So that $387, and then the reserve value, which is 0. That reserve is really just going to be reserved for, fees for working orders and that sort of thing. Always remember the position value is also the value of the contracts that you currently own, right? So the contracts you own actually have value, and so if I were to sell them out right now, I would get $388 about back into my account. Moving down the my account section here, we have our residential address. All this is very straightforward, right? If I want to edit it, I can go edit it, right? This is my demo address. I have my contact details here. So I have my very realistic phone number of 101-234-567. Obviously, that's a real phone number. We have our history and statements here. So this is something that we've put in fairly recently, and I know for those of you that have been using this platform ever since it was in a beta last September or so, this has been one of the glaring things that we've obviously been missing, has been the full history and the full statements. So we do finally have that in there. And I know many of you that use this platform will be very happy about that. So we have, these are just little selectors here, so you can select your transaction history or your order history. Your transaction history is just going to show your actual transactions, and it's also going to show, you can click on the little what's this, but you can see, any funding history. So withdrawals, deposits, any changes made to the funds in your account. And then you can choose your time date. So you can select your custom dates down here, or you can just say, give me the last 60 days, and you can view your history. You can also download it to an Excel file. So if I click this, so this will go over here, right? And I can see my loss or what I paid to get in, what I paid to get out of all these contracts. I can change, if I just want to see the last 3 days, I can change it with this little selector up here. If we go back to history, you can also do your order history, see that as well, right? So the order history is gonna give you your sent, gonna give you your filled, right? So like every transaction pretty much is gonna have an order sent and an order filled, or order sent, order replaced, etc. While the transaction history is just going to be what you actually filled, right? So working orders aren't going to show up in transaction history. That's the basic difference. The only other thing really that I touched on briefly was the transaction history will show where you withdraw, where you deposit. And then, you can just look at your funding history right here as well. This won't obviously have anything in there because it is a demo account. Then again, if I click download, oh, well, yeah, I don't obviously have any funding history, so it'll tell you if I don't have that. But if I click download, I can open up my transactions in an Excel file and do all that good stuff. Then we have the statement. So the statement is just going to be an actual statement of what has been going on in your account over the last 30 days. It's going to take a little second to load here because it's sort of, it just takes a little bit of time to load, excuse me. But once it comes up, you can see sort of, it's a statement, right? It's sort of a actual printout of the last 30 days, have your name, your account number, all of that good stuff, kind of in a more official excuse me, like capacity that you could give to, if you're doing your taxes, although the taxes, I won't go into taxes. The one thing that you won't see on this panel here as we move down is the deposit and withdrawal, because this is a demo account. If I were to go into a live account though, depositing and withdrawal would be right in the section as well, where you had your card, where you take your money out, all gonna be right here in this kind of left-hand panel in the My Account section. So then you can then go down to the contact us. So the contact us is going to have the nice customer service email here. I will show you another way to contact us as well. If you want to write us a letter, you can certainly do that. I would definitely say just send us an email. Going to get a way faster response. I think we have people occasionally going into the office to actually pick up the mail, but most of us, I haven't actually been back to the office since March or so. So most of us aren't there. So it's going to be even slower to get your mail answered. So just email us unless you really can't. Then the last thing we have down here is the feedback section. So I do want to spend a second on this because this is a very important section. We have heavily been looking at this feedback section throughout the entirety of the development of this platform. I read this every single day. I have a report that's sent to me, to some of the developers, to some of the project managers on the platform that we look every day. It kind of pulls them all back. And so we really are reading your feedback, and some of the features that we've put in, like the tear-off ticket, like the market refresh. This was some of the stuff that we missed in our first pass in building the platform, and was so heavily requested that we built those features. So if there's anything that you really need that you really want us to put in, we do look at this feedback section, and we are dedicated to sort of building this platform to work for you, to be customizable for you, to allow you to trade in the way you want to trade. So definitely put in your feedback, because again, we read it, we look at it. Not going to say we're going to immediately build everything you want, because we have a lot of feedback, and we have a limited amount of developers and resources, but we do try to kind of prioritize everything that we get in by the amount of feedback that we are getting through this section here. So please go leave your feedback there. All right, as we move on here, that was most of the My Account section. Really quickly, the one other thing I'll go into here is right here on the top. Obviously, you have the exchange time. Then you also have the your different values up here. So you can, first of all, you can hide them. Maybe you trade on, you know, in a public place, so you can actually hide them so people can't see how much you have. You can also change the values you have here. So maybe you want to see your account value and your reserved. So you can have 3 different values up there you can hide. And then if you don't know what these are, you can hover over that little I button. It's going to give you a little bit of explanation on what these values mean. So really quickly, I'll start going down the left-hand side here. So we've gone over most of these areas on the platform, except for this sort of left-hand panel where we have some cool new stuff, especially new since the last time that I've done this webinar. So the first one here, and you can see this little update, this little one here, it's telling me that I have a new update here. So this is how we will communicate to all of you in the platform going forward. So it's this little side panel here. So you can actually see I've already clicked into this one before. So it's kind of in a lighter, it's not bolded anymore. And then this new one, it's one I haven't clicked into yet. So if I click in, you'll see that little notification go away. So any new notifications, it'll kind of pop up and tell you that little like 1 or 2 or however many there are in there, and it just will communicate stuff like future symbols or holiday hours, right? So this is telling you when we're going to be open over the Christmas and New Year's period. Sometimes we put in, if we have a trading competition or if we have a new webinar series or things like that, we'll put them in here just so you can see everything in this nice little update section. Going down here on the side, we have our live chat button. So this is actually right now going to pop you out to this section. This is a great way to actually get in contact with us. You can click the contact here and it will come up and you can say, hey, I need help. And you can start chatting with one of our customer service agents right away. They're all very knowledgeable and should be able to help you with anything if you need sort of a faster response than what you get with an email, although we do strive to respond to those emails quite quickly as well. But definitely, probably a little bit faster to do the live chat there. It's quite a nice little feature that I like using. And we will hopefully have this fully integrated into the platform in the future. But as for right now, it does kind of pop you out into the website. Again, we have the feedback section here. So this was just, it was so important. We put it twice into the platform because again, we want your feedback. And then at the bottom, we have the settings. So, the settings, it should be fairly straightforward. We have our tolerance settings here. So I won't go fully into detail on what the tolerance does. There's some literature on our website if you want to know exactly what the tolerance is. It's really just the tolerance settings for the market orders so that you can change that around, get filled, or at a wider tolerance, or move that tolerance in if you aren't getting filled how you'd like to. And you can change them for the binaries, and you can change them for the knockouts and the spreads. We have the default order type, so mine's set to limit right here, but if I change it to market and then I go back to, let's actually click on a different one. So now I'm getting market orders, and if I click on this now, it's a limit. So fairly straightforward there. We have our default contract size. So again, I can change this to 10, and now when I pull something up, this should be changing to 10. Maybe I'll have to do this. Not sure why that didn't work. Did I not type in 10? Well, this, okay. Well, it doesn't look like it works with 10, so that's something to go take away. But so this will change the default contract size that you are experiencing in the platform. This also, then we have our session inactivity. So maybe you trade in your own home and you walk around sometimes and go away from the platform for a while and want to come back and don't want to have to log back in. Maybe you choose 12 hours. So this is basically how long it's going to stay open before it automatically logs you out. We don't have an option for never logging you out because it's kind of a security thing, right? You don't want to, accidentally leave it open on someone else's computer and then they come back 2 days later and can trade on your account. So, but 12 hours would be the max here for the session settings. For those of you that are on here, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. There is going to be a new area in the settings coming very soon, and I'm actually very excited about because it's something that we get asked about maybe more than anything else in the feedback section. Dark theme, it is coming soon. Probably in the next week. We still have to do a little bit more testing, but I've seen kind of the prototypes for it, and it looks quite good. I like it. I'm personally a dark mode user myself, so I'm super excited about the dark theme, getting it in there and getting it out to everyone because, like I said, we probably get 1 or 2 a day on dark theme, and you would be surprised on actually how hard that is to implement. You would think it's just, make everything dark, but it actually took quite a while of testing and development and design. But it's coming soon, and I'm really happy about it. So that's going to be the left-hand side panel there. If you want to go back just to the markets, you can just choose your markets, and there you go. You're back on your market screen. So that is really the majority of the functionality that we have in the new platform, uh, besides the charts, which I'll go over now. Actually, one other thing that I did want to go over really briefly is the market refresh. So this is another one that was heavily requested. We do have it on the old platform, but just recently brought it over onto the new one. And so it's this little button down here. So you used to actually have to refresh the whole screen, which we know is not a good experience for refreshing. You lose all your setup that you had if you wanted to get the new contracts in here. Now you can go and because this 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. these contracts have expired. If I want to see the new set of contracts, I can just hit this refresh button and those expired contracts will go away. So rather than refreshing your whole screen, you can now refresh your market finder, and it's going to take away the old ones and then bring over the new ones that have listed since the last time you logged onto the platform. So those 2-hour ones that rotate all the time, that's going to be helpful for keeping up with those. All right, so I will go now into a lot of the charting functionality. One other thing real quick, so you can also hide all these panels if you don't want to see them, and then to bring them back up, you just hit these little arrows where you hit the market or, so you can hide, you can collapse them, you can open up your tear off tickets. We really want this to be as customizable as possible for everyone out there to trade how they want to trade. So I'm gonna actually go over and start doing some of the chart stuff on the call spreads just to show you. So we do actually have different visualizations for each contract type now. So you can see the binaries have these dotted lines with the strikes on the right side. If I actually go over to call spreads, we can see a little bit different chart visualization for the call spreads. We can see the floor here, the ceiling here, or sorry, the floor here, the ceiling here. So you can see the entire range, how close it is to knocking out, or sorry, not knocking out, but going above the floor or going above the ceiling, going below the floor. Really getting these backwards today. I do not know why. So you can see kind of a visualization of the entire range on the platform, give you a little bit better idea of the ranges you're looking at to actually trade in. So let's go over the actual charting settings. So I'm gonna move this down here just so we can see this a little bit easier. So on the old platform, I know some of you might have gotten used to it, the left click. So you used to have to left click to bring something up. That's not going to work here anymore, but you can right click. I'm not sure how helpful that is to actually show you my mouse. So if you want to right click, you can bring up all the chart customization features are going to be able to, you can right click on the chart itself. This is how obviously the majority of features on computers work, right? Right clicking is how things work. So we wanted to kind of come into the 20th century or the 21st century maybe with how we actually bring up our settings. If you don't want to right click, they are still all up on the top left of the screen as well. So the first one on the top left or clicking here is going to be my candlesticks. So I can change my candlesticks here. So right now it's at 30-minute candles, but if I want to see my 3-minute candles, I can certainly do that. Or if I want to do daily, do that as well. So now we have bigger candles and it goes back days. Let's go back to a smaller one just so I can see the actual contracts on here. All right, I'm gonna move this up so I can actually see the ranges here that I can select. Okay. The next little button up here is going to be, so this is actually you can show how long of a period you want to actually show in the chart. So if you want to see a month, here you can see a month. Actually, this is back to the last rollover. So as the contracts roll over, sort of the chart data falls off. We are investigating to see if we can have it on there for a little bit longer. But you can see, if I just want to see a day's worth of data, there's a day's worth of data. You can also go to certain dates, so I can actually go to the date and even the hour and minute of the candlestick I want, and it will take you there. Moving on, so we have our indicators here. So I actually quite like this this new indicator setup. So you can see all your indicators, right? And let's say that I don't really know what a Ichimoku is. I can go hover over the information and say, oh, okay, I can get a little bit of an information blurb about what's going on with these indicators. So it's a little bit of a helping learning tool. It's not going to be the end all be all of learning about these indicators, but it does give you a pretty good background into what they are, why you would use them, how you use them, what you want to look for in them, and kind of gives you a good starting point to learn more about all these indicators that we have on the platform. So I can click on this. So we'll say I want to put an EMA on here. Here's my nice EMA. So I have my first indicator overlaid on my chart. If I want to change some of the settings, so for example, with EMA, you can change the moving average periods. So let's say I have 20, 50, 100 period right now. Let's say I want to do, 30, 60, 100. So I can change these here. I can change the colors. And so all of the indicators are going to be fully customizable from this screen. I can put on more, right? Maybe I want to do a 7-day, I don't know. And I'll make that purple. I'll make that purple. There we go. So you can fully customize all these indicators. So it's a little bit in a little bit cleaner manner than what you could do in that old platform as well. You can put on multiple ones as well. I can put my Bollinger Bands on. And if you want to take one off, you can hit this little, you can either deselect it on the indicator panel, or you can hit this little X, and that's going to take it off as well. One other thing well, let's move on to drawings real quick. So we have our drawings panel here. So very similar to the indicator, it's going to give you a little bit of information blurb about what you can actually do with all of these drawings. So stuff like arrow, pretty straightforward. It's an arrow. It can highlight parts of the chart. So if you don't know what an arrow is, though, it'll tell you what an arrow is. So you can put this on and drag it around. But for stuff like Elliott waves or Fibonacci's extension retracements, those might be a little bit more foreign to some people. So you can see what those are here as well, and then you can put on your Fibonacci retracements. And that's not actually how you do it. I'm just dragging and clicking around, but now I have my nice, beautiful chart that I've set up here. You can also go to delete all drawings, and you can also you can show your drawing toolbar here. So I can actually show this drawing toolbar. I can turn it on, and now I can easily select some different things, right? So I can click my lines and my squares and really make this look just awful, right? But that's all joking aside, it should be pretty easy to draw on the platform here now. And then if I don't like any of my drawings anymore, I can click here and say, first of all, I'm going to turn my drawing toolbar off because that sometimes get in the way. I can delete all my drawings, and there we go. They're done. And if I didn't mean to do that, I can undo it. So pretty straightforward there. One other thing here, it's snap to HLOC prices, which will just snap to kind of the high, low, open, close kind of price box that you see there as my mouse is moving around. I'm gonna turn that back on. Next, now we have our types. So we have our 4 chart types here, or 5 chart types actually. We have the candlestick, which is going to be your traditional one. We have the other 3 line edge. Can't talk sometimes. Line, HLOC, and mountain are all going to be chart types that you would have had on the old platform. So I'll click through those quickly. You have your line chart, pretty self-explanatory. And actually, I'm going to delete the drawing so you can see a little bit easier here what's going on. I'm going to take my indicator off too. So you have your line chart that's just going to follow the actual line of where the market's moving. You have your HLOC, which is going to show you those high, low, open, close candles. And you have your mountain, which is basically your line, but shaded underneath or shaded above, depending on where it is. With all of these, you can choose. Well, I'll get to that later with the customized experience. Customized appearance. The one other candlestick type that we do actually have on this chart now that is new from the old platform is going to be your Hloc and Ashy candles. So they are a little bit different than your traditional candlesticks. They are a type of candlestick. I'm not going to fully go into the exact calculation, the exact what they are and their use cases in the scope of this webinar, but definitely we have a little bit of learning materials on our site, and you can always Google to figure it out a little bit more. But the very basic overview is these are your general candlesticks, except for they have a sort of averaging in their calculation, right? And you can sort of see this in how they're flattened out. So I'll show you if I switch from your regular candlestick, you can see it's not as smooth. And then if I switch to the HLOC, you kind of have these more smooth movements as it goes up and down. So I'll go back to just regular candlesticks for the remainder of this, just because that's what most people use. Going on to price. So for this isn't one that I change too often. I will say though, the one reason I would go in here and change if you don't know what this is anyway. So basically this is just showing in the underlying market, the ask, the bid, and the mid pricing. That's basically just going to be the ask, the bid, the midpoint of the underlying market. I won't fully go into that. If you don't know what that is, I would say don't really go in. I wouldn't recommend going in and changing this. The only time I would recommend going in and changing this actually is so this is going to default to mid, which is a good representation of what the underlying market is doing. If you change it to last traded though, sometimes if it's on mid, it won't exactly be the exact indicative shown on the chart. If you change it to last traded, it will be, because that's what the actual indicative is based off of. So that might be the only time I would actually suggest going there. And we actually are doing a little bit of work, I think, to in the future, just make that last traded the default, because I know for some of the newer traders out there, it's a little bit confusing sometimes when the chart doesn't 100% line up with the indicative, and that's generally because it's one of these other prices selected. It'll be very similar, but it won't be exact. So yeah, if you want to change it to last traded, that's really, if you aren't sure what you're doing, that's the only thing I would say to do on that. Moving on here, we have our scale. So this is something I quite like, but I'll go over it pretty quickly. So we have linear. What does linear mean? It basically just means on this little side panel here, it's going to show you the price of the underlying market. If you go to percentage though, it's actually going to show you the percent move since the first candlestick here. So we can see the first candlestick here starts at about here, and we can see that lines up pretty nicely with this 0%. So you can kind of get a visual representation like, oh, okay, since this first candlestick shown on the chart, it's moved up by almost a percent or so. So just kind of a nice little way to more visually represent how much the market's moved in the time period that you're looking at on the chart. We have the show section here, so I can turn off my, so this basically turning off things you can see on here, obviously turning off drawings, turning off indicators, fairly self-explanatory. And if you have turned your indicators off and then you're putting them on and you can't see them, it'll kind of tell you show, but I would always look there if you have lost your drawings and indicators to make sure that they just aren't showing up. HLOC data, so this little, you'll see now that little box is not following my mouse around, and when I turn it back on, the little box showing the high, low, open, and close, and the change is now back following my mouse around. We have showing your open positions in your working order, so let me get into a position here. Oops, why is this being weird? Okay, so now I'm in a position, so you can see my open position sitting here in the chart. If I click to not show that anymore, I won't see it. Same thing with working orders in the timeline. You'll also see this little P, O, and T here. So this is actually pretty cool. Those are hotkeys. I quite like hotkeys. So if I hit P, You can see I'm doing that on my keyboard now, but it's telling you that the position is hidden. Now it's showing again. I can do that with O. I don't have a working order, but it would hide and bring that back up. And then T is going to be that timeline there at the bottom. So I'm just toggling that with my finger. The other thing that you can actually change with the hotkeys is going to be the candlestick duration. So if I click on here and I just start typing in a number, I can see that's going to be 1 minute. If I type in D, now I can see my daily candlestick. So if you learn these hotkeys, they can be a little bit faster to actually move around the chart. And if you need a reminder of what they are, they're all right next to their respective charting options. So if now I know that 2 hours is 2H, I'll type it in, press enter. Now I'm seeing 2-hour candlesticks. So just a little bit of a trick there to maybe make your usage of the charts a little bit faster. Going on, and actually really quickly, I'm going to open up a knockout just to show you sort of the third visualization here. So that that call spread had its different visualization, and then the knockout as well has its own visualizations too. And you can see here you have the different knockouts on the chart, and then you can open them up from the buy and sell on the top right. And now the chart looks very, very flattened out. Let's see, let's go on to, so we have our showing in the price changes and price lines too. It's just going to be that price changes this little bit down here, and the price line is that price line that goes across the side. Going down to layouts, so let me put on a couple of indicators and a couple drawings. Okay, so now I have my layouts on here. Why is this? Let me go into a different market because this doesn't want to work with me right now. Okay, so now I have my layouts. I have my Bollinger Bands attached, and I have my drawing. Actually, my drawing's not on this one, so I'll go draw it again. Let's just draw an arrow. So if I go and save this layout, I can actually save. It's not going to save the drawings, but I can save this as Adam's layout. And now if I exit out of my platform completely, or I want to come back in, or I want to put it up on a, I can take this away. And then if I want to go, okay, I want to actually apply Adam's layout. Was this what it was? Adam's layout. It'll put those Bollinger Bands and the drawing back on the platform for you. So just kind of an easy way to, if you have your certain setup, your certain strategy with indicators, certain if you like to use EMA and MACD at the same time, you can save that as a layout and then very easily implement that every single time you get onto the charting. And if you want to delete a layout, pretty easy. I'll delete Adam's layout, and there we go. It's gone. And then we have the customized appearance here. So this is one of the last little bits I want to go over. So customized appearance, basically just gonna you can change the candlestick. So if you are a madman and you like to see orange and yellow and purple, some nice LSU Go Tigers. Candlestick charts there, you can certainly do that. I'm actually going to move that back because that hurts my eyes a little bit. So I will go and reset that to defaults. You can also, so this will obviously bring you back to defaults. You can change the thickness of the candlesticks. You can show the grid or not show the grid, and you can change the color of it. Wow, that looks ugly. You can also show the watermark on the back, so that's going to just show you that U100 February. And again, I'm going to reset that to default because it doesn't look that good. Then you have to click apply, and the one other thing, so you can do this with all your different, mountain, HLSC, everything there. And then your last little bit on this charting options here is going to be the export chart. So this is actually pretty helpful. So if I click this, it's gonna, I don't know if you can actually see this bar that just came up, but it just came up as a little downloaded image, and I can open it, and I'll pull it onto my other screen so you guys can see. So now it's just a little picture of the chart. It'll show you, the hour, the time that you did it. Basically, just take a screenshot of the chart that you've been setting up. This is really useful for a couple reasons. First of all, if you have a setup that you really like, that you want to share with people, you can do it this way rather than actually, hitting print screen on your computer and taking a picture. You can also, if you're having something that you see and you don't understand or think there's a bug, often our customer service will ask for a screenshot so that we can find the issue. So this is kind of an easy way to do that and send that in. That's going to be really the majority here. Actually there's one other little charting function that I want to go over. So first of all, this is zoom in, zoom out up here, and then this last one. So this will take you to the most recent candlestick. What it will also do though too, and it's always a little hard to show this on the webinar, but see as I scroll in, and let's see if I can scroll out. See how it's sort of moving up and down to encapsulate the entirety of what I'm seeing, the entirety of all the candlesticks. So if I now move this up and down or move this away, it's kind of not locked into scrolling. So now if I scroll in, um, I can scroll in here and I've completely lost the chart, right? So I can hit this to go back, and now it's going to make that new scrolling thing where see how it's kind of moving up and down to actually show me the entirety of it. Again, if I kind of pull it away, it's no longer going to scroll with me. So I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but if you do know what I'm talking about, kind of the auto scrolling, auto widening the chart to show you the entirety of all the candlesticks that you want to see, it will turn off if you kind of are moving it up and down here. But if you click this again, it'll come back. And now as I scroll in and out, it kind of it goes to the actual chart that I want to see. That is really going to be the entirety of the webinar I have for you today. If you do have any questions, I have a chat up here on my screen so I can see any questions that you're sending in. So I will give anyone a few seconds to throw in any questions that they might have. See one coming in here. Is the market filter from the old platform and the quick charts plus actual binary options going to be added to the new platform in January? Very good question. So the market filter, I assume by the market filter you mean kind of I think that's referring to the search in the old platform, or basically it's searching for different markets. That we don't have. We have that in the roadmap, but we don't have that actually planned or designed yet. Uh, that's not coming that soon. The quick charts though are. So the quick charts we do know that's something that we get a lot of feedback on that we still don't have in here. So we're going to get the quick charts. We're going to have the settlement charts, which are basically just the ability to turn off these binary options lines. So maybe you're somebody and you don't like looking at these lines, the strike lines all over your screen, or the call spread lines, or those chart visualizations of the contract. You can turn those off. We're also going to get the quick charts in here soon, so that is being worked on. The market filter is one as well that we do want to implement, but it's just a little bit lower on the roadmap because it's a little bit less requested. And I think when you start navigating here, it's not too hard to actually find, or it's a little bit easier than what you have in the old platform to actually find what you want. But it is kind of on our roadmap. It's just a little bit further back with some of the other features that we do want to implement, and some of the new features. So bringing over those quick charts is a top priority. Also things like dark mode, which we get probably 2-3 requests for every single day, is going to be coming soon. But yeah, so market filter is sort of on. Yeah, person in the chat saying issue is when you have a lot of strike prices, you need to narrow down what you can actually see. I do realize that that is an issue. So we are still planning on implementing that. It's just not going to be probably not in like January or something. While quick charts will, I won't say 100% January, but could be. Let's say 80% will be in January. So because quick charts are being worked on right now, but market filter probably a little bit further down the road. Hopefully, we are actually doing some work just outside of this on kind of a product world on revamping how many actual strike prices we're offering and kind of giving you a better offering without having so many strike prices on the actual platform. So that might help you out as well. But I do know that that market filter is something we want. So we have been looking at that a little bit. Are there any other questions? And actually, while I wait for any of the questions, I'm going to pull up the different ways to contact us. So we have a couple other ways to contact us. One over the email here, and then if you want to tell us that you enjoy trading here, go on Trustpilot. Always have to plug it here, or else our marketing and social team will get mad at me if I don't. But go on Trustpilot, leave a review. It definitely helps us out if you do like trading with us. And then we do talk to everyone through these channels. So follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. the whole spiel. Go follow, subscribe, like, comment. I don't know. All right. I have another question in here. Hi, Adam. I was having difficulty getting online. I apologize if you already covered this, but can you set take profit using call spreads? Yes, you can. So I'll go over that really quickly. I do know we're getting right up to the end of the time here, but let me go over and get the platform back up. Yes, so you can. So let's go over to a call spread really quick. So you can set take profits on any of our contracts. And let me take away some of this so you can just see it a little bit nicer. So let's say that I am on. Let's get into the sell side here. And in my sell side contract on my Aussie dollar call spread, if I want to set a take profit or if I want to exit the contract early, I could click on if you click on the actual, so let's click away again. So if you click on the actual line in the open positions tab. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I click on the actual lines in the open positions tab. It's going to bring up your chart and your ticket. So the way you actually place a take profit here is I can put in the price that I actually want to get out at, right? So to exit the contract early, remember if I sold to get into this one because I have one sell side, so I'm going to need a buy side to get out. It's currently trading. I can get out at this price at 76.18, but if I want to, maybe wait till it runs up $100, or actually the ceiling is not $100 away. But let's say I want to get out if it hits 76. 0.7625. I can now place this order. So obviously it's not going to fail me yet because this is a higher price than what's being currently offered in the market. But if I place this order, oops, that was the wrong direction. Sorry, I'm a little bit been scatterbrained here today. I don't know why. Sorry, that was the wrong direction. So that actually just got me out. But if I put it in, sorry, at a lesser price, 0.7600, I can set my take profit there, and now that's actually going to be set my take profit. So if it gets to this 7,600 level here, I can actually get out at that point. But if it never gets down there, it won't execute. So that's going to be how you set your take profits. You cannot do stop losses at this time. I know that's something else people request quite often. That's something we are looking on building, and maybe in the next year or so. But right now, it's just going to be the take profits that you can set, and that's going to be the way that you set them. I know I've really gone the whole hour here, so if there are any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, doesn't seem like we have any other questions here. Order tags with limit entry, limit exit on one ticket. That's actually something that we've looked at as well, and would like to do in the future. We are doing a little bit of work talking with our designers right now about redesigning this to make it a little bit more clear. I won't go too much into the technicals of that, but actually doing that on one ticket is a little bit of technical work that would push that down the road just a little bit further. But we're trying to redesign the ticket a little bit easier to sort of do that sort of thing, placing a limit order and placing a take profit when you actually enter in, because I know that's something that's pretty standard in the industry, right? You can get into a position and then at the same time set your take profit and stop loss, do sort of contingency orders. Those are things that we are kind of on our backlog that we want to do. We just haven't quite gotten there yet, but we are moving in that direction. So I don't have a timeline for you on that one, but it is something that we are looking at and considering, and we have some of our developers looking into right now. All right, that's really going to take us to the entire hour here. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, I understand that it takes a lot of clicks to get out of that. But yeah, thank you all for coming to this webinar today. I hope this is illuminating for everything that we have on the new platform. Again, we are going to be getting away from this platform. January 8th is going to be, sorry, not this platform. This is the new one. We're going to be getting away from the old one January 8th of next year. So just get ready for that. We had some good feedback in the chat at the end today. So I will pass them on to our developers. If you want to throw that in the feedback section as well, it's just another way that we can see it and that it's written down. It gets passed on to me and project managers and developers as well there. So definitely give your feedback, and I really hope you all like this new platform. I really hope all of you are staying safe out there in these weird times that we're still living in since for quite a while here, and hopefully all of you have a happy holidays and a Merry New Year, Happy New Year. Why can't I talk today? But yeah, thank you all for coming, and best of luck in all your trading going forward.